and we'll make sure we record it. All right, they give you guys the notification that it's being live streamed. So that's good that it does that. I don't want to leave my own meeting. You mute myself there because it's going. All right. And we'll start in a minute. We'll actually start the workshop. We'll give it about 3 or 4 minutes to 5 minutes tops to give people time to come on, and we will get into it. So we are streaming live on YouTube. Welcome to our Ending Blind Nutrition Workshop. I'm Mike Chavez, and this is Barbara Bruno Walters. And I'm here in Las Vegas, and she's in the Carolinas. And we are so excited to come and bring you some information that's changed my life. And Barbara is learning how it can affect hers and some people that she cares about, clients and people that are close to her that deserve to know this information. So we'll just give it a couple more minutes and we'll get started. All right, let's see here. All right. Okay. Well, how are you doing this evening, Barbara?
I am doing well. How are you, Mike?
Doing good. It's a hot and humid here in Vegas. It's supposed to rain and it's 102. So.
Wow. It has been raining here for 2 weeks straight, and we've gotten 1 or 2 sunny days. So every time it gets sunny, we run outside right away and enjoy the weather.
Okay. Well, this is going to be fun. I have so much information that I want to share. And
yeah, I think it's going to be great. Maybe we should start sharing now since we're being recorded and people could always pick up.
Okay, awesome. So again, welcome to our Ending Blind Nutrition Workshop. My name is Mike Chavez, and I'm Barbara here. We're really excited because the information that we're going to share with you is groundbreaking technology that very few people know about. You know, what it's all about is learning what the best way to live your ultimate health, you know, and technology has come a long way. And the story really with our workshop today starts with the Human Growth Project, the Human Genome Project, that took about 13 years to complete. Now, this was an undertaking that for some people thought would never be done. And what it was to be able to figure out exactly what makes us, the coding, our DNA, what makes our cells operate. And it was a $3 billion project, and it was a top scientist in the world. And there was a gentleman by the name of Francis Collins, who was the spearhead of it for the National Institute of Health. And they discovered these different genes. They mapped us out and figured out exactly how we operate and the commonalities and the things that happens in human beings. And it came up with the science of nutrigenomics and epigenetics. And what it basically means is nutrigenomics is the study of your genes and how they're affected by your nutrition and your diet. And epigenetics happen to be how your genes express themselves when it comes to overall life factors like stress, environment, public toxins in the air, so on and so forth. And this technology has really brought to the forefront the ability to come up with some pretty amazing things, and that's what we're going to share in this video. So I'm going to share my screen here in a second, and kind of talk about the way things are these days in 2022. You have to admit we're living in some interesting times. I just hit the big 5-0, and I'm seeing things that I never thought I would ever see in the last couple of years as far as things that are going on in the world. And when it comes to health, I mean, like, if there's no other time now to take your health serious. You don't take control of your health, it's really hard to get answers. Raise your hand if you've ever struggled to find the right things to eat or the right type of lifestyle to live to really feel good all the time. Now, what is your definition of health, right? My definition of health is functionality, is being able to do things that I want to do without all the like headaches and brain fog and we're all getting older. However, we can use the technology that I'm about ready to share with you to be able to do all the things to live our old life. So let me share my screen real quick. And I will talk about Healthspan, which is really cool here. Let me bring this back down. I'm going to share this here. Okay, where did Healthspan? Where did my thing go? Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second, because now it's not where it was. It always happens, right? Technology for you. So give me 1 second. I got to find this slide for you about Healthspan, and we will rock on with it. Oh, well, I can't find it. So let me see here. Oh my goodness. All right, bear with me. All right, here we go. Healthspan. Let me get my screen up now so I can share it. I just found it. All right, can you guys see my screen now? Let's see here. Share. There we go. Okay, I'm not going to give up on this. All right, we got it on there for you. So Healthspan, and why is it relevant? Now, I mentioned that we're living longer, and you can see this graph here that by in the 1950s, we lived into our mid 50s, and now it's projected in 2060, we're going to live into the 80s, right? Into the mid 80s, and that's the average. Now, in simple terms, healthspan is the number of years you're healthy. While modern science has extended our lifespan, the number of years we have been able to live, the chronological age, a majority of us start to have health problems. It hasn't changed. So this is really the age that I'm 50. I don't know how old everybody is on the call, but at different ages, right, we start to come across health problems. But for me, it really started in my late 40s. Healthspan versus lifespan, and our quest to help help people increase their health span, we slow down the cellular, telomere, and DNA damage that can progress unhealthy aging. We want you to feel and function better for a longer period of chronological age that would define us. Chronological age, we define that as a person's legal age, the actual amount of time this person has existed. Biological age is more like your health span, is the quality of your life. So, and this is what I'm showing you right now on my screen is information that's in a report that you can get access to by getting your DNA tested, which is pretty amazing. Now, it breaks down your cells, and it talks about how healthy cells and the membranes and how nutrients are passed through the cell membranes. And telomeres are so important, and the health of your telomeres are basically what talks about your lifespan. You see the little graphic there with those two little offshoots. It's kind of like the analogy of the little caps of your shoestrings. When those start to get frayed, then the shoelaces will start to fall apart. Well, your telomeres or your DNA, and that is kind of the analogy with that. Now, genetic expression, when our genetic information is converted into instructions for making proteins or other molecules, it's called turning on a gene, or scientifically gene expressions. Our genes use a process called methylation to repair our DNA and to turn on genes and turn them off. Now, there's two different types of genes. There's actionable genes and non-actionable genes. Now, a non-actionable gene would be a gene that you would inherit from your parents as far as your eye color, your hair color, your mannerisms, so on and so forth. We're talking about actionable genes. Now, you still inherit these same genes from your parents. However, these are genes that we can take action on when we are talking specifically about your health. And then we talk about nature versus nurture. Perhaps you've thought about a particular aspect of your life, and you've ever wondered if your genetic nature, how much of it is related to how you're nutritioning your lifestyle, right? Your nurturing side. So what's really cool is based on actionable genes, we know that we get our genes from our parents, and there's two sides to the genes. So we have the double helix that goes up like this. You get some from your mom and half from your mom and half from your dad. And based on that information, they can really tell you.
My buddy tried to jump in, and this happened.
You got somebody. So they take these genes and they give you a report, which is really, really awesome. Now, if you see here, it says, especially for Mike Chavez. This one is my specific report, and this one tests for 18 actionable genes. Now, these are the common functionality of these genes are healthy lipid support, mitochondrial function, healthy inflammatory response, healthy blood pressure, detoxification, weight management, healthy weight management, B12. We'll get into some of all of these different things. On the left, you'll see the scientific name of the gene or the SNP, and the SNP is called single nucleotide polymorphism. That's what they're looking at. And you see the colors here on this report. Now you might be asking yourself, what is the difference between a red, a yellow, and a green? Now, I mentioned that you get half of your genes from your mom and half of your genes from your dad. When they run this test, what they do is, if you don't get a variant, which means something that is kind of like a misfire or kind of like a missing code, if you know anything about computers, you know it's numbers and you know how the code has to be written properly for the program to run correctly. It's the same thing with your genes. So that's what the variant is.
Tried to jump in, and this happened.
Oh, can you please mute whoever's TikToking? That would be great. So what they do is, if you did not get a glitch or you did not get that misfire, you get a green dot on the gene. If you got it from one of your parents, a yellow result means that one of the parents gave you the variant. And if you got a red, that means that both of your parents gave you this variant. Now, this is where it gets really interesting for me personally. You see on my report that there are 4 reds: healthy lipid support, healthy blood pressure, homocysteine heart health, and lipid oxidation support. Now, why that is so impactful personally for me is because I know my family health history. Both of my grandfathers, my mom's dad and my dad's dad, they both passed away of heart disease before the age of 60. And sometimes variants and genes, depending on your parents, will skip a generation. The reason I'm telling you that is because my father is 72 years old and he's healthy and he's very, very active, and I think he's on 1 blood pressure medication at his age, and he's doing very, very well with his health, and he's very active. But for me, I can tell on this report that I inherited some genes that I need to be concerned about. So in 2018, I got this report, studied the information for quite some time, and then eventually I put it into action, and I had some pretty amazing results. Now, what's different about what we are doing with this testing is not only do you get this information, there's a 26-page report, and this one report that'll break down each of these different gene variants that you got and tell you what sort of lifestyle modifications that would ultimately be the best for your health. So I'll scroll down and give you an example. You originally start your journey to repair your DNA with an amazing product called Pretrition. Has up to 100 different plant-based peer-reviewed ingredients that are known to actually repair your telomeres that I mentioned and repair your DNA. So you start out with the Pretrition, and then they customize a nutritional formula based on all those genetic variants with the different colors on it that I just showed you. It goes through this machine right here called the Nutritionator, and then it's formulated into a formula that is made just for your genetics, just for you. There's up to 400 million different formulas, and one of them is for you. We're all different. We all have different health concerns. We're all different sizes. There's just so many differences in us. And you know what the biggest differences in us are? It's just that real small percentage, and it's in our genes. Pretty interesting. And this report goes over a lot of information. Is your genetic information confidential? Absolutely. It's HIPAA and CLIA certified. That means it's a federal crime for them to sell any of your information. As you scroll down in the report, it starts to grab the genes that you have, I have an issue with. So here is one right here. Hi, I got a red in this one. This is the key gene, the LDL cholesterol, and it gives me my lifestyle recommendation for this gene. Limit omega-6 fats, fried processed foods, some dairy products, hydrogenated oils and fats such as margarine, soybean oil, vegetable oil, cottonseed oil, canola oil. If it says partially hydrated, avoid it if possible. That goes across the board for anybody. I'm just going to throw that out there. However, it gives you more dietary recommendations, and then it tells you the ingredients that they're going to put in your formula in the microgram to support you in this genetic variant. So I'm not going to go through the whole entire report. We can get you access to these reports so you can learn more about them. This is just my personal report, but before I get off this report, I want to show you something that's very unique. As I scroll down, they go over every gene that's on the report in detail, as you see as I'm rolling by. There's some supporting products that help with your boost your immunity as well. Then it talks about the peer-reviewed science. Now, all of the ingredients that they're putting in your formula are based on these peer-reviewed papers that you can go look up on PubMed.gov. And then at the bottom, it talks about your supplement facts. Check this out real quick. And then we're going to turn over to Barbara here in a couple seconds so she can tell you what is interesting about this report and how it's kind of helped her look at her lifestyle a little bit differently. So if you guys ever gone to the store and you've looked at the back of anything that has any ingredients on it, it's going to have nutrition facts or supplement facts, right? Well, that's what we give you as well. And you can see right here, supplement facts. These are my supplement facts with my name on it. And the base formula is the pre-trition that I mentioned. So these are going to be your base products. You're going to get all of these ingredients right here. And then based on your genetic report, they're going to add certain types of blends that have been scientifically proven on the research papers to help support those genetic variants that you got. So proprietary APOB blend, that's one of them ones. Proprietary CYP11B2 blend. So basically what they're doing is they're going and they're customizing it for me. Now, if I got a yellow on one gene, they're only going to give me the half a dose. If I got a red, they're going to give me the double dose. So what's awesome is they're giving your body what it needs based on its genetics. And there's a couple of genes that are in here. There's a buzzword on some of them that you guys might have heard about. This one is called the MTHFR gene. Let me go back up and find it here. I think I got a yellow on that one. Let me go back up. Sorry for the scrolling like this. You move this back over here. The MTHR gene, the homocysteine folate, there's a couple of them right here. I got the yellow one on this one, and we're going to talk about that here in a couple of seconds and talk more about that gene. Let me kind of frame this for you, why the MTHR gene is so important. And if you don't get anything from this workshop, this might be one of the most valuable things you could take away. Barbara and I met, I think a couple of years ago online, and we got to know each other. And Barbara is a board certified holistic practitioner, and she has been on an amazing health journey of her own. She has figured out how to overcome some pretty challenging things. I will preface that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. We're not here to diagnose. We're not here to cure or any of that. We're just sharing our personal experience. And Barbara has learned some things about this report that I would like her to share. Barbara, what did you learn about this gene in particular, and how do you think having this kind of report would be valuable for your clients and people that are close to you?
I actually have a double gene for the Mthr. I always say it wrong, but I don't want to say the wrong word for it. But what I did learn was that I was not mentholating vitamin B12, which meant that I wasn't able to process it, turn it into the folic acid that it needed to be turned into, and eliminate, the cyanide from your body that often gets stored in your liver. And I had had problems for years, every now and then elevated liver enzymes, which we didn't know why. Sometimes it would just go away. But I realized that a lot of the over-the-counter B12 supplements had the type of B12 that I could not break down in my system. So this was very helpful because once I started taking the right form of B12, I noticed a difference in my body, which is really helpful. So I'm trying to think what else I can tell you about that one. I mean, but that was really significant. I didn't realize that gene also, it affects your mood. It affects people who have ADHD, who have autism, Asperger's. It actually, I believe, makes, I'm trying to say the right, I want to say the right thing because I want to say it simply. Don't want to throw too many terms out there. What it does to them when they're not getting the proper vitamin B is it's making their issues, it's exacerbating them, it's making them worse. And I noticed Rochelle had a comment in there too about, she said, most plant-based doctors say your genes represent a small factor, changing your lifestyle can change those odds. And she's absolutely right, because when you have the right nutrition.
Can I ask you, I need some help. I can't hear this. I can't hear this. I don't know how to do this.
Mike, do you know how to figure that out while I go over that?
Go ahead, Barbara.
Sure. I was just saying that she's absolutely right, because everything, your food, everything you take into your body, your nutrition can trigger dormant lying issues. Say somebody has, like me, I have discoid lupus. That's one of the autoimmune diseases that I have. And not eating the right nutrition could trigger that and bring it out more and have it, like I break out in rashes. What happens with me is I've noticed once I changed my nutrition, that changed the way that I was expressing those genes. So now we have something like supplements, and we know we need supplements. Supplements are something, some people are like, oh, you don't need them. If you eat the proper foods, you're going to get everything you need. But nowadays with the soil that we have, our soil is depleted of the nutrients that we actually need. If we were to just eat fruits and vegetables and say no to supplements, we would have to eat bowlfuls. I mean, like maybe like bagfuls and bowlfuls of fruits and vegetables to get the nutrients that we actually need out of them. So the right supplement, which I feel, and when I met Mike, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, tell me more, because if this is specific to me, like my husband's like, can I take those? I'm like, no. Because there's what, 400 million different formulas. And these are formulated just for us. Like I have my own, I have my name on it. And we're waiting on his DNA testing. He's doing that. I have a few clients who just did the DNA testing who have type 2 diabetes, having trouble losing weight. And that was my problem year to year. I was yo-yoing. I was going back and forth, gaining weight, losing weight. They were always blaming it on my Hashimoto's, on my thyroid. And I also learned through my practice, people who have thyroid conditions, yes, you can gain the weight, you can lose the weight, but if you change that nutrition, if you're getting the proper supplements, the proper food, the proper exercise, you can sustain your weight with Hashimoto's. So that's what I had been doing over the past year. And then we spoke because I said there's something missing. I hit a plateau. And then once I started taking our nutrition, I feel better. I feel great. And actually I have no more goiter on my throat. And like you said, we're not here to diagnose. We're not here to tell you if you take this, it's going to heal or get rid of all your problems. It's just something that's going to help and supplement. So.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. And it's all about lifestyle modifications. And that's what I preach. There's no magic pill. And you know, if you are in a situation where you need to work on your health and get healthier, which I think we all are, I mean, myself included in all of this, we could always be better. You know, knowledge is power, and putting the knowledge into action. And I took this knowledge that's in these reports and I applied it to my life every day. I embraced it and I made it my lifestyle. And if you don't mind, I would like to share a real quick picture so some of you might have seen this picture if you know me, and if you don't know me, then you probably have never seen this picture, but I still can't believe this is me. This is my picture. This is what I used to look like. I was encroaching 400 pounds at 47 and a half years old. And I really I made a lifestyle choice. You know, I said to myself, had this information. I was sitting on this report. I knew about my grandfather's dying young. It's here in front of me that I inherited the same things. I have 3 young children. I really didn't have that much time left. I really didn't have that much time left. So I made a decision, and that's what we all have the ability to do. And it's the most powerful thing we can do is make a decision and take our health serious, take ourselves and our health serious to live a healthy lifespan. And I have worked every day for the last 4 years, really, since I found out about this information in 2018, but physically and really disciplined with the nutrition on a daily basis, consistently over about a year and a half's time to have these kind of results. I have made massive lifestyle modifications from going to eating fast food all the time, the standard American diet, to eating a whole food plant-based diet, intermittent fasting, and exercising every day. Can anybody do it? Absolutely. But will you make the decision is my question to anybody that is watching this, because that's what I had to do. I think at the end of the day, we all know what we should do. I just shared a video the other day about how ironic sugar is in society. When we're little kids, we're told that sugar is bad because it's going to mess up our teeth, right? How many times did you hear, nope, sugar is going to give you cavities. It's not good for you. But what do their parents do to their kids? They bribe them with sugar. And when they do things good, they give them a sweet treat. So what kind of message is that sending to our children? I know that I want to break the cycle because we don't know what we didn't know. And that was how I was raised. That's how I was brought up. I was raised by a single mom, basically, who had to work 2 jobs, and I was a latchkey kid and had to fend for myself, and TV dinners was it. And I had a home cooked meal, fried chicken and everything. I thought I was living. So I hope that this information that we've shared with you will help you understand why it's so important to get this information for you personally. And if you want to learn more, we have incredible resources online where you can learn more. We have weekly calls. We have chiropractors, doctors, holistic professionals that know the science a lot more than I do and a lot more than Barbara does. I recently got certified through ISSA to be able to take these reports and develop programs and help people just like I've helped myself. And I didn't really touch too much on the other reports, but briefly before I go, I want to, the report that I showed you was the Healthy Aging Report. We also have a skincare report to help you with your skin, learn more about your skin. And this one is really amazing. If you know any athletes, it's a sports and fitness report, and it will break down what sort of exercises and the type of training that you should do if you are an athlete, or if you're just somebody that wants to have functional movement and be able to exercise and not be in pain and hurt yourself. So I learned a lot from that report as well. And I implemented every single day. So we also have another report. It's a weight management report that goes more into detail, specifically about genes, on how they express themselves, on how to break down carbohydrates, fats, cholesterol, and then it gives you protocols and ideas on how to, take that information and apply it to adjust your lifestyle to lose weight if that's your goal. I strongly encourage, if anybody has a question of what test they should get, I think it's the Healthy Aging Report. If you don't test, it's just a guess. That's the building blocks and the base to the flagship product right here, which is really, really super cool. Comes with your name on it every single month. And I'm going to close with this. The coolest thing about it is You know, when you look at vitamins next time, you're never going to look at a bottle the same when you look at the expiration date. You're always going to remember this. They have expiration dates on supplements, right? We don't put expiration dates on our supplements because we tell people to consume them within 90 days to 6 months. However, we put a manufactured date. So this stuff is manufactured fresh into your door within a week, which is truly amazing, customized just for you. So with that being said, I will actually open it up for a couple minutes. If anybody has any questions, I would love to answer them. We are at the 30 minutes, and this is just free time for anybody that wants to ask any questions. Go ahead and unmute if you'd like to ask a question. I can read the chat here. Let's see. Okay. All right. If there's no questions, then we will go ahead and thank you for joining. Stay tuned for more of these workshops where we're going to dive into specific genes and actionable steps that you can take away to have an ultimate healthy lifestyle. Okay. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.